We're past the point of no return. We're going to be seeing massive transformation everywhere. The universal shadow is going to be really amplifying. We've been shedding all month long, of course. In the eclipse season, we have massive solar flares literally daily at this point. And you have just been sloughing off the layers of anything that is no longer serving you. We have been literally shedding in order to move through the eye of the needle. The lunar full eclipse that just happened is going to be really bringing in everything that's about to go down in the world. Now, the biggest thing we need to focus though on is not out there in the outer scape. It's the internal transformation. In this video, I'll be going into detail on what you can do to literally transform your entire reality. Because when we change and heal and do our polarity integration, when we finally are ready to look at our shadow and heal it, that is where the massive transformation happens. And we literally change our holographic reality out there. You'll literally be living in a different version of Earth. We're living today on Earth 1111. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. I talk about everything from inner growth, ascension, awakening, new earth, and many more topics to help guide you during this massive time of transformation on the planet and in your entire life, your body, and everything. Don't forget to subscribe and share the video. Thanks so much, you guys. Now, we have just literally entered the eye of the needle. Things are going to be amplifying. Now, if you've been doing your inner work, if you've been looking at your inner shadow, you are going to be seeing so many amazing transformational results. You'll be seeing your reality around you completely different. Now, if you've been avoiding that transformation within yourself and focusing on everything going on out there, all the evil in the world, and really numbing yourself out and avoiding the hard work, we're going to be digging deep. Things are going to be transforming big time in your physical body, your life, and the world. Now, we are beyond the point of no return, and that's because when we start seeing that shadow for what it is, we can no longer close our eyes and not see it. But now, of course, we're going to be experiencing massive transformation on all fronts out there in the outer scape. But we'll talk about that in a future video here at the end of the month. Make sure you subscribe right now so you don't miss out. This video, though, I want to talk about something so much more important. Because when we talk about the shadow and the reasons for all the things going on in the world, the evil, we don't have to look very far. It's not out there. It's actually within us. So everything within yourself that you are not willing to look at, that you don't like about yourself, so many different things that we need to look at, to uncover, because these are literal layers, filters that transform the way that you are. So you could be coming into this world with massive amounts of ancestor programming. Of course, you get many different things programmed throughout your life. In your childhood, and of course, past lives, because everything's happening right now. There's actually no past at all. Everything's happening simultaneously. So you are fractaled out, experiencing infinite lifetimes all right now, right in the space. So everything affects you because we live in a blended reality. Now, these are all filters that suppress the way that you truly are, your authentic truth. So over the next 1.5 to 2 years, we're going to be experiencing unbelievable shedding, destruction, everything inside ourselves, all the old identities that are holding us back, right? Because if you believe something about yourself, if you have a limiting belief that you are a certain way, you will literally not act out of alignment with that identity, and that suppresses who you are. And all of us have these right deep down parts of ourselves that we're embarrassed by, that we don't want to look at, that we can't stand. We might be looking outside of ourselves, and there's certain traits in other people that just get on our nerves, or we're maybe jealous of other people, or we're always looking outside of ourselves to others for the answers. But there's so many different layers of the ego and the shadow that we need to look at. So if you haven't yet been digging deep, it's time to go through your dark night of the soul. Now, this happens in many layers, And this really happens over time, many different times. So a lot of people say, oh yeah, I did that before, but the dark night of the soul really happens many different times throughout our journey. The first time is just that kind of waking up process where you're like, ooh, the world out there isn't what I thought it was. But then we need to go deep within ourselves. We start uncovering all of these personas that are these filters that are not really us. Then the real work begins, because that's the real dark night of the soul, where we really start uncovering all these things that were hidden. And a lot of times they will be exposed to us through outside people, triggers, events, things happening. Because a lot of times, right, we're not willing to look at what's going on inside. So of course this is the perfect creation where your holographic reality is a feedback loop based on your beliefs, your thoughts, your energy, your vibration, your alignment. What version of Earth you're existing in will give you that outside reality for you to experience. And this is why it's so important to know that we have so many layers to heal, just like an onion, but really beyond that, because when we think we healed something, there'll be another layer of that coming up. And a lot of people are, of course, are not willing to look at the darkest parts of themselves, right? They will do anything to numb themselves out and avoid it. And, right, focus on everything out there, all the drama going on, because there's definitely a lot going on out there, right? If you want to avoid your life, you can just have constant things to keep yourself entertained. But to really see results in your ascension process or in your growth in your life, you have to be willing to look at that shadow, because that is the literal light and darkness that you need to integrate. You need to merge. So it's about polarity integration. It's not about running from the darkness and avoiding it and hoping it just goes away, right? Trust me, I did this for years. I try to just hold my vibration as high as I can and, right, don't want to look at all the bad, just trying to stay in the high vibe as possible. It doesn't work. It never worked. It took me years to realize that. It was kind of like trying to stay on a tightrope, and you're just trying to stay in the middle of these two polarized forces that are literally pulling you. So I was in my extreme bliss, feeling amazing, and then boom, the wind would blow and I'd drop down and I'd be raging and crying and hysterical, and, right? It didn't work. It didn't work, right? So you need to have that polarity integration. You need to literally merge with your shadow in order to then be in that 0 point, to then elevate yourself to a higher dimensional level, to a higher density, to a literal different version of Earth existing in a different harmonic universe. Sounds some woo-woo, but I will be talking about that in detail with diagrams in a future video. Make sure you subscribe right now so you don't miss out. Now, I want to talk more about what is that shadow, because a lot of people, right, they like to be like, oh, well, all the problems out there. But the shadow is every single part of you where something comes up where you don't want to look at it, right? It's that emotion that you don't want to feel. And you will see that you'll have these patterns where you might have these automatic negative thought loops, or you might have these automatic triggers and reactions to certain people, to certain situations, maybe certain posts or whatever, comments. So every time something like that happens, every time that you're triggered, every time that you see something out there that you don't like, every time that, right, you try to avoid something within yourself by numbing yourself out, right, grabbing that beer, smoking that joint, right, shopping, everything, right? We have all these little subtle ways that we try to avoid looking at the darkness. And you start, if you're willing to really start analyzing yourself, you will start seeing these, and they'll be obvious, right? At first you might not even notice, but you need to become that observer where you can step back and observe your human self reacting, or observe your human self going through the same plan, right, trying to avoid what needs to be looked at. So the more that you're willing to look at and really sit with every single thing that bothers you, whether it's something in someone else, a certain trait, or maybe a certain idea about the world or a certain truth about the world, or whether it's things within yourself that you've avoided your whole life, or you just don't want to look at that. Certain things you just, right, you just can't stand, or certain memories, experiences, traumas that you want to avoid. It really has to be about you really allowing yourself to go deep. So just keep asking why. Why am I triggered by something? Why do I get so upset when someone does this? Why can't I feel that emotion? Right? Why whenever I feel anxiety do I run out and try to, grab a glass of wine? So get yourself a journal and really just take note of every time that something comes up that you're bothered by, even if it's something so tiny. Anytime that you give away your power and you look outside of yourself for the answers for someone else to save you, or maybe to give you the answers, ask yourself why. Every time that you try to avoid a certain conversation with someone or avoid a certain bad habit within yourself, ask yourself why. Right? So the first thing that comes up, write that down and explore that. Don't judge anything. So that's the key, right? A lot of this is so hidden within us. It's literally hidden within the cellular memory of your pre-matter blueprint. So we all have that ideal, perfected blueprint. But then, of course, we have all of these distortions, blockages, filters. Everything really suppresses that true light from shining. So a lot of times we've been taught, not to speak up. Or we've been told that, yeah, you're that good little boy that, doesn't do this like your brother does. Or, right, we've always been perfect, so we can't not be perfect. Or we've always been smart, so we can't ever look dumb. Right? So analyze every aspect of yourself, because when you do that, you will start seeing all the little parts of you that you weren't willing to look at before. And because we've been literally shedding so many layers over the past couple months, and especially with this eclipse portal, if you watched my video, watch that. It's been dense this whole month. I don't know if you've been feeling it. I do lots of energy updates on Instagram, so make sure you join me there. Because it has been something all month. It's been hardcore, but that's because we are literally not able to move through this portal with all the baggage. We're finally willing to let that baggage go, right? To let anything go that is suppressing our true growth in life. We came here to grow as a soul. We didn't come here to hang out and coast. We didn't come here to make everybody else happy and not be happy ourselves, right? So every single aspect of your life, see where you are avoiding, numbing, where you're not willing to look at something, where you get upset about something, where you have to hold on to a certain identity or persona of yourself, maybe to look good in front of others or to make other people happy. Where are you suppressing yourself? Where are you holding back? Maybe you're holding back what you want to say because you don't want to, piss people off. Well, every time you do that, you're adding another blockage in your body, in your energy flow. So that's why we can use, like I said, the outside experiences that happen to us or the outside triggers. We can use the outside world and all the things going on to show us what's inside. Remember, you are the creator, the actor, the director, the writer, and the actor of your own virtual reality hologram. You called forth every single person, experience, issue, problem, failure, success, in order to learn and to grow from. So we don't need to be a victim because of something that happened in our past. We don't need to hold on to an old version of us that we've outgrown. Everything like that is going to suppress your happiness. So right now we're digging deep. So for the next year and a half, 2 years, people are going to be rocked. And people that haven't done their shadow work are going to really be tumbling in the mess, because we're going to be seeing so much in the outside world crashing down, things we could have never have even imagined. And again, I'll talk about that in a future video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like bell. Hit that like button if you haven't already, please. Thanks so much, you guys. Dig deep right now, because being stable comes from that polarity integration, that merge of all aspects of us, because otherwise these things control you. So you think that you kind of have it all taken care of, but really everything that you're not looking at, your shadow, or this is also your negative ego, all the aspects of you that are traumatized, that are wounded, that are living as a victim or as a victimizer, right? They're playing the game of these polarity games. Now, every single one of these aspects has yet to be integrated, and they will literally control your life. They will control the way you think. They will give you these constant mind loops where you just go into this, craze all of a sudden, or you just can't shut your mind off. You're worrying about this, you're worrying about that. Maybe you're upset about something, right? But it's the same thing over and over and over for 20 years. They will literally control you unless you integrate them. So your shadow controls you because it literally will filter out experiences. So think about this, right? So you are the energy, you are the creation. And just like light gets filtered through, certain patterns. So your energy bodies become the filter. The light gets filtered through, that becomes your feedback loop, that becomes your experience, right? So you have your light out there, and it's filtered through all of your own limiting beliefs, everything that you're holding inside that you're avoiding, every blockage, every toxin. All of these are filtering your pure consciousness and giving you a feedback loop, giving your reality. That's your literal holographic reality, because life isn't the way you think it is. We exist in a virtual reality that is shape-shifting moment to moment. So you heal yourself, you integrate your shadow, where you integrate another aspect of yourself, boom, your reality changes because your literal template that your consciousness is moving through, the geometrical patterning changes. So when you have, when your energy has so many blockages, the light gets filtered through that. And so you're losing life force. So what happens is you literally experience and get that feedback loop that matches your limiting beliefs, that matches your belief structures, matches your thoughts, matches your vibration, matches everything. And of course matches all of these past lives that are living simultaneously right now, that matches, right, your personality, your identities. It will match everything because it gives you the automatic response to what you are. So your ego likes to reinforce your small self. So your ego, we can call this also your traumas, your wounds, right? All of your shadow aspects. Now, you will, if you believe something, right? If you believe, the world out there is terrible, guess what happens? You're literally going to be experiencing one thing after another about how, to reinforce that the world out there is so terrible. Someone who believes the world's amazing and the world is a loving, amazing place will literally experience a loving world. You will experience people that are loving to you, people that are giving, people that are open. So you don't have to believe it because you are already experiencing this. And when you start being able to really be awake and aware and conscious of all of these things, then you can start seeing when you're timeline jumping, when you're literally changing timelines based on your vibration moment to moment. So you can see when, boom, all of a sudden you drop vibration back into your shadows that haven't yet been integrated. Because the whole point is we don't want to be in that extreme duality. We don't want to always be going up and down, up and down, up and down. We want to integrate and be in that observer neutral state where then we are in 0 point. Now you get to be the co-creator of your reality and not just the victim to all of your limiting beliefs, right? Because you will literally get what you believe to be true as an experience. And that's how we learn, right? We don't know what's hidden deep within the layers and layers and layers of self without getting that external experience. The whole point is people use that external experience to reinforce their limiting victim mentalities, their negative ego, their shadow. The whole point is we're supposed to use our outside experiences to be like, whoa, where did that come from? There must be something within myself, some limiting belief, something deep down within where I called that experience forth, or I called that person that was going to piss me off to the end. So we need to really be able to use everything that we go through as a teaching tool and know that everything is there for a reason, for a purpose. And when you're able to really decide to use everything that goes on in your life as a teaching tool to grow and evolve, your life is going to be changing big time. It's the people out there that are not willing to look at anything, that are waiting around for the aliens to drop or the great solar flash to transform them. Not going to happen. I'll talk about that in a future video, about all the traps that people are getting stuck in. Make sure you subscribe right now. I know that it's up to us. We're the ones that have to transform internally. And you watch, when you become sovereign, when you merge that duality, when you finally are able to take back your power and use every experience that you're going through as a teaching tool, as a growth, a mechanism to really amplify your life, you're going to be completely in a whole new version of Earth. You're going to see the outside world transform. You're going to see your physical body transform, your consciousness transform. Everyone out there gets smarter, happier, more loving. It gets crazy, trust me. Now, the whole point is we need to be willing to do that, because a lot of people out there are waiting around, and they're the ones that are going to be, unfortunately, stuck in this hurricane of a mess that's coming down the pipe. So, make sure you really dig deep. Get that journal. Just keep asking why. Right? When we dig deep and we keep asking why and why am I like this? Why am I upset about this? Why am I not willing to look at this? Why does something out there trigger me? Then as you start uncovering the truth, the emotion that's stuck, the literal trauma, the literal program that's stuck will start coming out, right? You might start feeling like you're going to rage. You might start being upset, crying hysterically. Get that energy out. That's amazing. That is showing that you have energy flowing. You have something going on that's healing. So of course you've probably been experiencing a lot of ascension symptoms, a lot of this shadow integration all month long. But it's not done yet. We're going to be experiencing, right? We are heading in the eye of the needle. And anything that is no longer aligned to your greatest purpose, your new life, can't come through the portal with us. All the baggage needs to be let go of. But you're going to be seeing so many things that are going to blow your mind. Magical things happen in the world if you're willing to look at that shadow and take responsibility. Now, if you need help, don't forget to take my course, Ascension Magic, which I go into detail on all this, including hundreds of other topics, step by step, from the beginning, into advanced levels. So this will really help you explode your growth and accelerate your progress into new Earth timelines. Thanks so much, you guys. Don't forget to share the video, subscribe, comment, like, all that. It really helps my videos get seen to more people. I love you so much.